Nothing gets us quite as excited as a superhero team-up. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we'll be counting down our list for the top 10 things we want to see in the Defenders. Before we begin, we publish new videos every day, so be sure to subscribe for more great content. For this list, we're counting down all the cameos and Easter eggs we want to see and all the questions we want answered. We'll be discussing plot points from both the Marvel Netflix TV shows so far, as well as the comics, so a spoiler warning is now in effect.
The devil of Hell's Kitchen. The smart-ass detective.
We got a problem?
The righteous ex-con.
My bad.
And the kid with a glowing fist.
Number 10, Sigourney Weaver as a formidable villain.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct pleasure to introduce Miss Sigourney Weaver.
Perhaps one of the most iconic science fiction actresses ever, Sigourney Weaver is best known for her role as Ripley in the Alien franchise, where she was one of the few people capable enough to survive multiple xenomorph encounters. One of the problems many fans have with the Marvel Cinematic Universe is the lack of great villains. We hope Sigourney Weaver can bring the heat, make it clear from the start why our heroes could only defeat her if they team up, and give us someone to really root against.
The more connections you have, the easier it will be to break you.
Number 9, Claire taking on a bigger role.
Okay, I find a guy in a dumpster who turns out to be some kind of blind vigilante who can do all this really weird shit. Like smell cologne through walls and sense whether someone's unconscious or faking it.
Claire Temple made her first appearance in the MCU when she helped Matt Murdock, aka Daredevil, with some of his not-so-minor injuries. Since then, she's been a common thread throughout the Marvel Netflix shows. She's appeared in Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist, and judging by the trailer, she's the string that ties the Defenders together.
You're on the same side.
As this universe's version of Night Nurse, she has fulfilled mostly a supporting role up until now, but we would like to see her take on a few more responsibilities and become a hero in her own right. Number 8, Iron Fist costume.
I know what I'm doing.
Do you?
Some things are just too iconic, or too ridiculous, not to include in a comic book adaptation. When we first met Matt Murdock, he was wearing black pajamas and a headband, but by the end of the season, we finally got to see the full Daredevil outfit. And it was glorious. We even got a fun reference to Luke Cage's 70s style costume in his show.
You look like a damn fool.
So sure, it might not look like the most realistic thing on screen, but we'd love to see Danny don his iconic costume, even if it's just for a small, throwaway moment.
Of course. Then do it. Now.
Number 7, what happened to Elektra?
Would you believe it if I said I missed you?
No.
Smart man. Columbia education really paid off.
In the second season of Daredevil, Elektra reappears in Matt's life and makes it just a little bit harder for him. Their complicated past and her unclear motives make her an enigmatic figure for the man without fear. By the end of the season, we discover a frightening truth about who she really is. Now that she's back in the Defenders, we want to see what really happened to her. Will she be the ultimate weapon wielded by an evil organization? Will she be a hero? We can't wait to find out. Number 6, Kingpin.
It makes me feel alone.
Aside from the bone-crunching action, single-take fight scenes, and ninjas, Vincent D'Onofrio as Wilson Fisk was one of the best parts of the first Daredevil season. His acting was perfectly menacing, and his presence kept us on edge every time he was on screen. We were shocked when we finally saw him crack and go crazy on that dude's head with a car door. You remember the scene. Seeing as how instrumental he was in the first season, we were happy to see him return in the second, and his fight scene did not disappoint. Will Matt Murdock's nemesis make an appearance in the Defenders? We hope so.
Just wait.
Number 5, Damage Control. In the comics, Damage Control was originally a company owned by Tony Stark and Wilson Fisk, but Iron Man felt uneasy partnering with a known criminal mastermind. We can't imagine why. The purpose of Damage Control was to clean up the mess those heroes left behind after fighting some baddies. It would later become a division of S.H.I.E.L.D. and change its name to the Department of Damage Control. The organization was first mentioned in Iron Man and appeared in Spider-Man Homecoming, but we hope to see them in action and get a better sense of what they're all about, considering ABC is planning to give them their own show. Number 4, Daughters of the Dragon.
Why don't you conjure me another Cosmo?
This crime-fighting duo is comprised of Colleen Wing and Misty Knight. They first appeared in the comics in 1977's The Deadly Hands of Kung Fu number 32, and have since made several other appearances in their own miniseries. The pair have already made separate appearances in the Marvel Cinematic Universe's Netflix shows. Misty Knight was in Luke Cage, and Colleen Wing was the martial artist sidekick in Iron Fist. In fact, many people think Colleen Wing was the best part of that series, so we hope to get to see these two team up and possibly headline their own show later on down the line. Number 3, Moon Knight. Mark Spector, former boxer, marine, and mercenary, is a hero in the Marvel Cinematic Universe known as the Moon Knight. After nearly dying, he was offered a second chance at life by the Egyptian god of the moon, Khonshu. The god imbues him with some handy mystical powers, and Mark finds meaning in beating up bad guys. In the comics, he's part of several teams, including the Avengers and the Defenders, so seeing him make an appearance would open up a lot of crossover opportunities. He wears white because he doesn't want to hide from his enemies. He wants them to see him coming. Him and Punisher would get along great. Number 2, the Punisher.
Only I do the one thing that you can't. You hit them and they get back up. I hit them and they stay down.
Speaking of the Punisher, we'd love to see more of Frank Castle and his collection of deadly firearms. His appearance in the second season of Daredevil was awesome, and we know he'll soon be getting his own show, but we'd still love to see more of the gun-wielding maniac in the upcoming Defenders. His presence would bring an edge to the group that the other good guys just don't have. At least have him sniping some bad guys from building tops. That's all we really want. Is that too much to ask?
See you around, Red.
Number 1, Heroes for Hire.
I think there's someone that you need to meet.
Hey, what are you doing in there? Who are you?
Who are you?
What's missing from typical superhero teams? Profit, of course. Originally started by Iron Fist and Luke Cage, Heroes for Hire was a way for the pair to make some dough while beating up bad guys. After all, if they are good at something, they might as well get paid for it.
How come you can't be hurt?
What's the deal with that fist?
The team would include several other Marvel characters, such as the Hulk, Moon Knight, Misty Knight, and Colleen Wing. It even featured Deadpool at one point, who branched off to create the Mercs for Money. Now that would make for interesting TV.
We make quite a team.
No.
What are you talking about? Bulletproof. Blind ninja. Whatever it is you are.
Classy.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo and subscribe for new videos every day.